Hello and welcome to the Physiology of Endurance Running podcast. Another episode of Road to Valencia. There's 9 weeks to go. As always, I'm joined by Dan, fresh off a good performance at Cardiff Half, first Welshman. How is it going, Dan?
Yeah, good. Yeah, no, really happy with that, and we'll get into all those details. But no, that was a good confidence booster after a few shaky races recently, and sort of felt like there was a good performance to come out. But yeah, you got to go and do it, haven't you? So very pleased to come away with a good time, and yeah, beat some good names. So that's always nice.
Yeah, and we'll get to that in a bit. That's a big part of your week. Anyone that is watching will see that we're not joined by Jen. Jen went and got married this weekend to Dave. If you've seen her Strava, she's now Jenny Long on Strava. I think
That's
that
a
was the first
downgrade,
thing.
isn't it? What do we reckon? Is that a downgrade? Nesbit to Long?
Don't
No
know.
comment from
No,
Owain.
being polite. I think that was the first thing that got updated. I think Saturday afternoon that got changed. But yeah, no. So congrats to Jen and Dave. They're on their mini moon. They did I think an 18-mile run on their first day of their mini moon. So yeah, Jen will be back next week. We'll go through her training around the wedding and the wedding itself, I guess. But no, we have another Ponty rodent on this podcast. I think they're going to have to start paying because they get so much free publicity on here. He's averaging 62.40 for half marathons this year. If he was a cricket player, that would be a good batting average. Dan's got his head in his hands now.
I don't know what you're
He
talking
was
about.
he was so touched by Jen and Dave's wedding and the romance this weekend that he shaved their initials into his head. And his marathon PB is 2:11. It's Jake Smith. How are you doing, Jake?
Yeah, good. We briefly talked. I'm a bit battered from the weekend, the race, but now I'm in a good place. I'm glad you guys have asked me to come on here because I was getting a bit, because I know you've spoken to Jake Barraclough before, and he was the first Jake, so I did get a bit upset.
Second
But
Jake.
I finally made it.
Keeping track
Sorry
of
about that. We've got to apologise, haven't we? We didn't think we would get you on, Jake. We thought you were too big time. You see, that's what it was.
Dan, you've seen my weeks. I don't do much else apart from run, so I have all the time in the world. I do Spanish lessons, so it has to be around them.
Yeah.
Especially after Dan had a go at your loop, which I think we'll get to in a bit.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about that.
So I guess as always, we're sponsored by Saw. We've posted on our socials, but yeah, go check it out. We've got a giveaway with Saw, so you can win £250 to spend with Saw on all the kit you want. There's been a lot of new kit this week. I think there's been a new drop every day, pretty much.
A lot of new winter kit coming out.
Yeah.
New jackets, So if you want to get prepped and ready for winter, yeah, definitely get your name in that competition. Or if you can't wait for that, just go buy some kit.
Yeah, really good quality stuff. But yeah, check our socials, check the show notes. There's a link to that competition. Yeah, thank you as always, Saw. Dan, you were head to toe and Saw on Sunday, weren't you?
Very nearly, yeah. No, yeah, I was head to toe. Yeah, vest, shorts, socks. Yeah, all served me well. I'm loving the trail half tights. I know that's not what they're designed for, racing a road half marathon, but they're just great.
You might have the fastest half in those tights of anyone.
maybe. Well, I think only about 5 people have them, don't they?
Exclusive company.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, thank you as always, Saw.
Yeah.
Should we wanted to ask Jake some more general questions before we get into his week. So I guess Jake, I guess at high level, I think maybe the last couple of years have been a bit of a comeback for you. After, I don't know what the right word is. Is it, I guess, battling Red S or experiencing Red S? How do you describe it to people?
It's a tough one because I think a lot of people, like, you might see, like, I don't want to sound rude or something, but a lot of people nowadays are saying they do suffer with, like, Red S and stuff. And I do completely agree. And I see people associate it with like if you have a food disorder, you have red S, but it's two completely different things. And when I was a couple of years ago, I thought they were the same thing. But it's basically I I did speaking to Pippa Wolven, I did go through in the end of 2022, like for the years before, I did go through essentially red S where I wasn't fueling my body enough almost every single day for 2 years. And that led me to having my stress fracture, my sacrum, anemia, my testosterone was four, like all the bloods weren't very good, osteoporosis up bones, and yeah, I don't really know what. I think I had it, and then when I got back to running, you can almost say battling. And I think then when I got like the DEXA scan at the end of the year, end of 2023, the scores had got better, but still there was osteoporosis and everything. I haven't had one, not osteoporosis, I can never know the names, but then I haven't done DEXA scans since. But all my bloods, like I did one a couple of months ago, and the values were, I mean, the healthiest they've ever been. So that's been 2 years to get to a stage where my bloods are fine, are brilliant. My iron came down a little bit during the marathon block because as I was taking iron tablets, I was drinking milk straight away with them, and apparently milk, the dairy stops the absorption of iron. So if you are taking iron tablets, don't drink it with milk because that did not help me. But now I think, based off my blood results and based on how I'm running and stuff, I can almost say I'm over it. But it's one of those cases where I need to make sure I never fall back into that what happened to me before. And yeah, I don't really know what you call that phase. Like, yeah, it's just preventing myself from ever going back down where I was before. So and that's what I'm doing running now, because I just want to show the world, like, there's all this stuff about our race weight and everything. I put on 10 kilos and I'm now, okay, I haven't run a PB over the half yet, but I'm now showing like a Cardiff Half. Okay, the conditions weren't the greatest, for example, but I'm showing I can compete against some of the world's best. And it is starting to become more, I think, relevant, especially through social media. A lot more people are actually speaking about it. But sometimes I feel like some people are almost using it as an excuse if they aren't running very well. And it's a case of, you need to speak to someone. People who are struggling with it need to really, really speak to someone about it, or actually really learn about, like what you guys do is brilliant, because you understand all the stuff, all the scientific information about the running. You delve into it, whereas a lot of other people actually still don't really understand it. And it took me a year to really understand it. So that's why I'm trying to use my social media to really express what it is. And yeah, I think I'm now completely over it. I think I've now used the excuse too much. So but yeah, it's going well now.
Yeah, it's really interesting, the your comment about separating out like red S from disordered eating, because I think you're right. I think perception is that goes hand in hand, but you can definitely have disordered eating and actually probably have reasonably normal blood scores and bone densities. They don't, and you can probably have red S without disordered eating. If it's actually it's deliberate and purposeful, then it's not necessarily a eating disorder as such. At your lightest, you were exceptionally light, weren't you? You said you're 10 kilos heavier now. Like, can we get some numbers on that just for some context?
Well, I always thought when I had my injury, like my foot stress fracture, I would never let myself put on weight. And I was like 56, 57 kilos. But my worst was like when I was in Uganda, I got down to 51 kilos as a 23-year-old. And I know I'm not the tallest person. I'm like 5'7", 5'8", but it got to a stage where some of the Ugandans came up to me and said, "Jake, you look too skinny." And it's always the other way around, where you say to the Africans, "Oh, you guys look too skinny." And I always remember the day where I was flying, like, you drop weight, it's so annoying. You can run quite fast for a period of time. And then one day you have nothing. And I remember the day I physically, no injuries or anything, I could not have the strength, or I just couldn't run up a hill. And I literally had to call my parents. I like cried completely on the phone. I had to get back home because my whole body was just ruined. And that was a really, really strange phase, because telling someone you don't have an injury or anything like that, but you physically can't run, like, it's the worst fear in the world, because you just don't know what's going on. No illness or anything. So, yeah, I got down to 51 kilos. And, I mean, you could see a lot of people. I wasn't listening to anyone. So I wouldn't listen to my girlfriend, friends, or anything about that I looked too skinny or anything. Because I was running well still. And that's a fear I have for other people, because I've spoken to a lot of people who are almost, they keep saying to me, I haven't had an injury or anything, but I'm like, but it will, like, it's horrible to say, it will happen.
Because you then went on
And
to have multiple stress fractures, is that right?
yeah,
Yeah.
I've had 4 or 5. I the number of MRIs I've had are insane. Um, it got to a phase where at the end of 2022, I had a stress fracture in my foot, and I was still doing 20 hours of cross training, not training for any races or anything, a week. And I think I got up to like 30 miles a week for 2 months. I had got a sacrum stress fracture. And the sacrum is in the lower back. I mean, Lionel Sanders has just got one, and he's done a whole video about Red S. And that is maybe other people, maybe if they like got hit by something, that's probably why it could fracture. But for athletes, and if you don't get hit by anything, a sacrum stress fracture does shout out underfueling. It's a very big muscle group, and it's in the lower back, and you just, like, how do you get it apart from not fueling your body? So that's when I had to completely took 5 weeks off of. You tell a runner that, like, for example, if I told you you're not allowed to run, walk, cross train, swim, nothing for 5 weeks, it's tough. And that's when I just had to completely change my whole outlook to everything. And that's when I thought about, okay, now I'm doing this sport, not just for me, but just to show the world, like, look, the weight I'm going to put on now is going to push me to run faster times than ever. I just want to show everyone that power is the way forward. And that's what I'm trying to do now.
What was it that triggered that switchy mentality? Did you have other people to help you out in that, like professionals
I
come
moved
in,
back.
or is it? Yeah, explain that process.
I moved back home for 5 weeks, and my parents go to me, Jake, you're not the brightest kid in the world, are you? What are you actually going to do? You're not going to go back to work for click and collect for the rest of your life or something. So they took a bit of the piss out of me. And, like, I mean, yeah, running is a big part of my life. And yeah, and I just knew it's one of those, like, the first week when I found out about Red S having all these stress fractures, I wanted to quit the sport. I think most people have gone through a stage of wanting to never run again, never put the shoes on again, and then after a couple of weeks later, you're like, okay, your mindset changes again, and it was a long road back, like going from starting the head of races to winning almost top 3 of every race, then in 2023 starting like third, fourth row back because I just couldn't compete. Whereas now I feel like this year I'm now back to that stage where I'm on that front line and I'm there to win races. But it has been like a couple of years where, people are just overlooking you. They're just like, oh, he's done. He's finished, whatever. And you just have to I had to power through that and just be like, nah, it will come. And that's what I felt like this whole year is doing, really.
Has there been sort of a medium and long term plan in terms of the races that you're picking and the distances you're picking? Has there been any sort of longer term plan to what you've been doing the last few years?
So as soon as in 2023, as soon as I spoke to my coach and had the time off, he was like, okay, we are going to slowly, LA Olympics 2028, that's the aim. And that's 5 years. So it's everything I'm doing is for this 5-year process. So he said to me, first of all, we have to train you like a 10-year-old girl. It was 30 minutes of cross training every other day. It was it was such a slow build up. And every single race I do, every single training session I do has a reason for the 2028, to give me myself the biggest opportunity to get into that team or run the time. And I just follow exactly what he says, follow the training patterns, follow the sessions and everything, because I know he has the long-term plan. Yeah, and that's basically it now. And see, unless the time goes to like 2 or 3, then we're not running that.
But you have demonstrated that you can make that comeback because you've been so consistent this year. Like your half marathon average time again, like Owain said at the start, really fantastic, and competing in races and also staying healthy as well.
Yeah, it's. I feel like you guys must get that. You get to like a peak in that year, and you almost need to have the break, and then you can push on again. And I feel like right now, okay, my peak is 62-minute half, and I need to now have a bit of time off in order to push on. So I think I've almost reached my ability this year. I have 2 more races coming up, and then I'm having complete downtime and slowly building back up. But it does make me think the UK half marathon scenes are a bit rubbish compared to the European ones, just in terms of the weather, because I haven't been too lucky with the last 2. But yeah, that's another way forward. It's as well, because of all the rest I had to have with this injury. It just shows me has shown me how important reducing my time of training and giving myself the rest has allowed me to really get quicker. So like, for example, last year, my best half marathon time was like 64, 63 and a half or something. This year it's now 62. Hopefully next year it's a 61. The year after maybe 60. And it's just each year just slowly building up instead of making these massive jumps I used to. And every time I made a massive jump, I would just get injured.
Yeah, and you've been, from what I've seen, you've been very smart with your training, and now you've got to a place where you can tolerate really high volumes of work. Like you're doing very
Yeah.
high like mileage weeks with lots of intensity in there, but tolerating it, not breaking down, which is a fantastic sign that you've got your body to a
No, I
really
appreciate that.
healthy place.
Well, it does help. I go to Milo for I think 5 times a week. So I do have a lot. That's a way forward. But now I think that's another thing. It's like you've seen like each block I do, it's a slight increase in the mileage, and my body is tolerating it quite well. And I think as well, because I used to do a lot of cross training, you just transfer a cross trainer to a run. It's so easy to make the distance up. And the strength work, I think I'm always in the gym twice a week. Like I can't tell you, apart from a race week, I can't tell you last time I wasn't in the gym twice a week. It's just every single week. I don't like missing them.
I need to get some of your gym motivation, I think, Jake. That's something I'm still struggling with, getting in the gym. But yeah.
What's you said you got 2 races left this year. What's the rest of the year looking like?
So it's Great South Run. I didn't get into Valencia Half. The list was full and they didn't want me, so I'm going for Great South Run. It's a British 10-mile champ, so it should be quite a good one. So that's in 12 days now. Then it's called the Steven Heaven Lupin, so it's the 15k in Netherlands. A lot of the groups go actually to that one.
Yeah.
But I've been told they're actually bringing a really strong European field. So normally, they brought Kiplimo last year, but now they really want to push for a European field, and I feel like if I can show my worth in a European race, it'll be quite good. I know it's quite nice as well to end my season on a random distance. But they did say Gracia is turning up, so if my Katie said if with 300 meters to go he's anywhere near you, do not look back.
It'd be a good scalp, wouldn't it? Be a good end to the year, beating an Olympic champion.
I'm not sure I'm going to be there. I'm not sure I'm going to be anywhere near him, but yeah, it's a good race to finish with, just because it's a strong European race. Just see how high up I can come.
It's just cool doing it like an off distance race, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I think that's cool. And then like you were saying as well, having a proper off season, because I think runners are really bad at it's like, oh, I'm fit, so I'll keep going, sort of thing, or oh, I'm not fit, I need to work harder. So yeah, it's good that you're thinking about it already.
Because I had one after London. It was like 3 weeks of like, my coach doesn't want like 4 or 5 days completely off, but then he likes me just to jog towards the end of the week, just really small jogs. and it is really, every run feels horrendous, but it's like, it's such a good, like, mentally, I just know I need it. Um, and I'm already looking quite forward to that, because like after London, I've done so after the 15K in Great South, I've done 2 halves, a 10 mile of 15K, castles if that counts, a 10K on the road, a 5K on the track. So it's been quite a lot of big races, like not big, but like quite intense races. So I'm quite looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, easy to sort of, look at you doing a race, but like you're on the front of the race, you're getting your name called. Like
Yeah,
there's a lot of mental pressure and sort of fatigue as well, I imagine there.
yeah,
Like it's a yeah, you're representing yourself and the NN team, and
yeah,
yeah, so yeah, it's good to have some time off.
yeah. Looking forward to it. I think going to go watch Wales probably lose in the rugby, so that'll be quite good fun.
Should we get to some training weeks?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna kick it off because mine's incredibly boring. I didn't race like Jake and Dan did. So yeah, we're starting from, let me just get the date. I think the 29th of September.
Yeah, 29th.
Yeah, 29th. So 9 weeks to go until Valencia Marathon. For me, this was off the back of that 6 by 10 minutes I did with Jen. So we sort of talked about it last week on the episode, but I was feeling really tired. I think Jen mentioned, and I mean she'll go through it next week, but I think she mentioned it was more in her legs, whereas for me I was just all over, just a bit tired, and I felt like fine but tired, and I just sort of knew, yeah, Monday morning, just my normal sort of 60-minute loop. And yeah, I just sort of knew running along, like, yeah, I'm tired here. Didn't need to look at my watch, knew it was going to be fairly slow, but um, basically finished, ate a lot of food. In the afternoon, I did double because I felt quite like fine during the day. I doubled, and then I got back from that run, and I just thought, actually, I'm really tired and I'm really hungry. So I basically ate a bunch of my girlfriend's like leftovers from lunch, um, then ate a bunch of sweets, and then I was like,
She's not
okay,
your girlfriend, is she?
oh yeah, true. I don't know if I can soft launch that on here.
All right, I
Maybe
better cut that out
you've
later.
rumbled me. Cut it. No, so yeah, so had yeah, and then I had dinner, and I like to the point where I actually couldn't eat anymore, which is not normal for me. Like normally, put food in front of me, I eat it. You saw it the other week, Dan, how much I eat.
Yeah, you're good at that. You are good at eating.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just thought like I just need to eat more. Like I'm feeling fatigued. The things I can do now done running is eat and sleep. So that was my sort of mindset that on Monday night. Um, Tuesday morning, I was feeling a lot better when I warmed up, and I thought if I'm feeling really tired still, um, I'll just not go back to the house, and I'll just do sort of 40 to 60 minutes easy. But I did my normal sort of 15-minute warm up and felt okay. So I did 8 by 5 minutes on the treadmill. And we sort of talked about this last week, where you don't have to be like right up at LT2 for a session, and you don't have to be like right at LT1. And this was sort of one of these midway between sessions. Yeah, well, I just aimed for my heart rate to be in the middle. I think it's on like 17 and a half kilometers an hour. Yeah, and just felt fine. Like my heart rate didn't drift very much, which again I sort of took as a sign that I was quite fatigued. Like normally with these sessions where it's a consistent speed on the treadmill just across the session, it will drift. But it didn't really drift loads, but sort of got 40 minutes of work done. Had 100 grams of carbs, so yeah, felt all right. And then in the evening, I jogged again for 37 minutes. I don't know if that counts long enough. It was 37 minutes because I did half of this with Jen. I got home and I chucked her and Dave a message and said, "Oh, are you guys doubling?" Because normally I see Jen when I cycle home from work, and I hadn't seen her, so I thought, "Oh, maybe they've not left yet." So yeah, jogged with Jen, although I wasn't even half step. I think it was at least a full step, if not two step to me. Um, but yeah, no, I felt a lot better by that point. I'd eaten quite a lot again during the day. Yeah, Wednesday morning, hour easy. Felt by this point I was feeling a lot better. It's pretty dark as well. Like head torch on. Thursday morning again, hour easy, head torch on. Saw some good birds. You into birds, Jake? Like flying birds?
Yeah. I like eagles.
Eagles.
Yeah.
You don't see many of them in Butte Park, do you, though?
Yeah, my granddad's a massive fan, but no, I'm sorry, I'm not. I'm
Wait
not the biggest.
until you're 31, and then you'll be into birds. You'll get this app called eBird, and it'll change your
Eber.
life.
Do
Yeah,
you, when you see them, do you like click on the birds to
yeah.
say
So
you've seen?
you go on eBird, and it gives you a list of like what birds you should see where you are, and then you can just like tick how many you saw.
Is there an eagle?
There will be
Oh,
I guess a golden eagle in the UK. I don't know. I'll
oh,
check.
I thought it was like if you put in like Butte Park and it tells you if there's one like the birds in Butte Park.
You can see what other people have seen at that location.
Oh,
Yeah,
I have to see it.
yeah.
I have to get that.
Check out eBird.
You're downloading that later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am too.
And then in the evening, just 40 minutes with Rachel. It was dark again, so I had head torch in the morning and head torch in the evening. She got stuck at work, so I headed out fairly late for that. Yeah, you can tell it's winter when you need your head torch at both ends of the day. And then Friday morning, by this point, like I was feeling pretty good, so I thought, well, let's do again a more marathon-y specific session, more building durability again. So I thought let's try do sort of 55 minutes worth of work. That's sort of what I figured I had time for by the time I was heading out the door. So I did 25 minutes, 15, 10, 5 minutes, all of it off 1.5 minutes. Standing recovery, Jake, I'm afraid. No jogs.
He won't get fit doing that, would he, Jake?
Yeah, I know. But yeah, no, it was this was when that storm hit, so it was
Oh, yeah.
fairly windy and it was dark and damp,
Yeah.
and you know, like when your head torch just picks up the rain in front of you and you can't
Oh,
actually
yeah.
see.
Oh, that's the worst, isn't it? It's what you're better
Yeah.
off just turning it off, aren't you, and just hoping.
Yeah. Well, I got to Blackweir, and then normally I would just keep heading into Butte Park, but I thought I'm just going to go down the cycle path and like round the castle, so I could actually turn the head torch off. But yeah, no, I think it was fine. I did the 25 minutes and I felt okay, and I sort of set that like on my watch. I set the heart rate alert to be that sort of midpoint again between LT1 and LT2, which I think like we were speaking this week, Dan. That's sort of where you like average for a marathon, like your heart rate, if you pace it right.
Yeah, I think the
and
caveat there is obviously if you're a 4 hour and a 3.5 hour marathon runner, it's probably gonna be closer to LT1, and if you're a 1:59 marathon runner, maybe it's closer to LT2. But
yeah. And the 25 minutes felt okay, but then sort of halfway through the 15, I just thought my legs are still actually a bit fatigued from the Sunday. But sort of got it all done. It was fine. It wasn't anything. Like there's been a few of these where I've been a little bit surprised at how fast, not how far, but like it's a bit faster than I expect. Where I just have heart rate showing on my watch, so I don't have any idea on the pace until I'm done. And I sort of in my head I have an idea of like how fit I am and then how that corresponds to a pace. This one was sort of like where it's just like it's just a bit of hard work and it's maybe not quite as fast as you'd maybe hope, but still fine. But no, it's 55 minutes worth of work. Fairly happy with that. I guess it also shows like you do a big session and it does take a few days to clear. It's not like you don't jog the next day and you're recovered.
And it's just also saying what you've said there, not going, oh, I'm really unfit because the paces on this one individual session didn't come out as fast as you'd like. There's so much variation in the course of a marathon block that you're not just going to lose fitness like that. If you had a good session on the Sunday, you're in good shape, isn't it? And actually, there's so many more factors that are going to explain your performance level on a given day. Your fueling, how much training you've done in the last few days. In this case, how hard the wind's blowing. But everyone does fall into that trap of I'm only as good as my last session, so I need to hammer this session.
I think that's where really like I take it maybe to the extreme in terms of like I don't even have pace shown, whereas like Dan, I know you have pace shown, don't you? But like I'm just ticking a physiological box and it will be what it is. And yeah, if it was 4:05 a k, I'd be like, okay, something's actually up. Like that needs further sort of thinking about. But it's like I tick the box and have the belief that by the time I get to Valencia, I will have done the right things and made the right decisions. It does help some days as well. Like you know, slightly pushing it in terms of time in the morning, and I do literally just get home, jump in the shower, eat something really quick, and get on my bike, and I don't even have time to look. And there are days where I'm just like straight in it at work, so I don't look at the paces until 10:30, 11 o'clock. And by that point, like it almost feels like another day. So you almost just don't stress about it too much.
Mm.
Like whereas if you go home and you spend 15 minutes like scrolling on your Strava, then you can I think you can get really in your head as well.
I
Yeah,
can see
anyway.
Jake doing this. Pro athlete, getting home. First thing he's uploading his Strava. He's looking at every single split, working out the average.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is my life.
Yeah.
That is true. Very true. Very true.
Then Saturday, just an hour easy. By this point, I actually felt pretty good. So yeah, I think it was a case of just not pushing it too hard during the week. I sort of knew as soon as me and Jen did that session on that Sunday, I was like, right, the next week needs to be a lot more chill. And I think I said to her, like, even when we were walking back to the car, I was like, I'm glad we're not doing another like big Sunday like the following week, because I'd probably have just said like, no, I'm not going to do it. Yeah, so I think I sort of knew this would be not a down week, but just a like, like people use the word absorb. I'm not sure how I feel about absorb. Like, I don't think you maybe absorb training. I don't know if that's the right word, but I guess
Stop
that's what
crashing
you're
your
doing.
body. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
A bit of respite.
So then on Sunday, a few of us went out for a jog round. So we went round the course before you guys ran it. I felt really guilty about this. I cycled to a friend's that he lives at it would be 9 miles in. And I cycled down there and I was like, it's a really nice day. Like there was barely any wind. It felt really good. But I was cycling, through the city, and I sent down a voice note and I was like, I think you've got like really like not lucky, but the weather's come good for you. Like this feels really nice. And then was on this run, and to be fair, actually, we got to the hill on the Cardiff Half course at 5k in, so the long drag up to Penarth, and we could feel like a tailwind up there. And when you can feel it when you're running, you're like, okay, this is and we were like, oh, it's interesting. Like, we were like, what's this going to be like on the barrage? And got to the barrage, and it was like, oh god, like this is it was a cross headwind. And then we stopped for a toilet stop on the barrage, and I sent Dan a quick message being like, forget my earlier message, it's really windy on the barrage.
Yeah, I hadn't seen that. I'd heard from Owain, I'd put my phone away and was warming up by then. And I was like, yeah, no, I was walking in. I think I was in Cardiff by then, and going, yeah, no, it feels pretty good actually. It's pretty still. And changed my mind about an hour later.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I did think as well. I was like, if I hadn't sent you that message and you were just in Cardiff, you'd have also thought, oh, okay, it's not too bad. So, yeah, no, I did try my best, but yeah, it was too late. But no, so we ran most of the course before the race, which is quite fun. Like, I would recommend it to people. There's going to be a lot of people that obviously don't get in next year. They were closing the roads as we were going along. Obviously, loads of people thought they were like the funniest, and were like, oh, the race hasn't started yet. We had that about 50 times. Yeah, and then we managed to time it so that we were about 500 meters in. So yeah, saw Jake and Dan go by. So Jake, you're in the back of the lead group. Dan was at the front of the second group already, 500 meters in. It had already broken up. And then yeah, then we jogged back to about 8.5 miles on Albany Road. Saw both of you go past then. So Jake, at that point, you were still with Callum. And then Dan, I think you were with one other person and you just dropped someone. And then jogged up to Catay's Terrace, which is 20k. So yeah, saw you both go through there, and then sort of then watched. In the end, I sort of thought, oh, I'm going to hang around for like half an hour here and then go home because it's cold. But then we started playing this game of the people that get a bib off someone else, and especially the further back in the race you go, there's more of them. So it's generally quite often it's a big bloke with Sarah on their bib or something like that. And we were like, there was a group of us and we were like, yes, come on, Sarah. And like most of them were taking it quite funnily. Like they realized like, oh, like not I've been rumbled because it's on their bib, but yeah, they were kind of funny. Some people were a bit like, oh, like what's going on? But yeah, no, so that was quite a nice way to take in Cardiff Half, because it probably would have felt weird if I just run the other way and ignored the race. But yeah, so that was 2 hours, 10 minutes, like really nice and chill. Had loads of carbs as well. So yeah, I think what's my total? I think it was 100. Yeah, 139, 135, 10 hours, 37. So like that, I mean, 3 or 4 weeks ago, that would be like one of my bigger weeks. But then compared to the week before, it's a bit reduced. But I think I definitely needed it. Yeah, feeling good as well after that, and yeah, ready for I mean, we're partway through now, but a bigger week this week. So yeah, pretty happy with that.
Yeah, still a solid week, and feel like you're in a better place than you were on Monday.
Yeah, a lot better. Yeah, ready for a couple of. I'm going to like one midweek session and a bigger session. So yeah, doing that for a couple of weeks and then a half. So yeah, no, feeling pretty happy. Yeah, pretty good.
I do think that will help you get less cooked, because like what you and Jen and Dave have been following. I mean, I'm just not skeptical, but just a bit wary that that's quite a lot of running you were doing and quite a lot of intensity and mixing volume and intensity. Maybe just need to spread things out a bit. You know?
Yeah. At the same time as well, like I sort of wrote out the next 2 or 3 weeks, and then I've got Stroud Half at the end of October, and I'll somewhat taper. You know, similar to what you guys have done the past week, like fairly taper into it, and then out of that, it's only like 4 weeks to Valencia after that. So it's sort of like I've got two more like normal weeks, a taper week, and then maybe 2 or 3 normal weeks after that. So there's not actually many weeks to go, or even many sessions left. It's already it's
I do
already
think
feeling.
it's good to block it out like that as well, because otherwise you just fall into that trap of, right, it's 12 weeks to go, no races, I'm just going to do loads of training for 12 weeks, and you end up just a bit cooked, or really fit, but you're really fit 6 weeks early, and then end up just putting yourself in a bit of a hole. So I do think it's sensible to have chunks of time, then bit of downtime, go back to do some solid weeks.
Yeah, and even if you like divide, or even if you look at the intensity distribution across a week, it probably won't be that much different. But just doing it in a different way, I think, is kind of interesting. Like I'm looking forward to the next 2 weeks because it's going to be slightly different, and then and then you've got a race, and then it's that last push. So yeah, dividing up the block into like different, even just mental approaches is quite nice, I think.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Jake,
Cool.
you right to share your week with us?
I am indeed. Now I've posted everything on Strava.
I know, I'm loving it. It's great. I'm seeing everything you do.
You went off for like a week and then you were back.
Yeah, my like my agent, like they didn't, because I know there's like some Dutchies, I'll call them, but they were like, it got to a phase where when I was going through all the injuries and stuff, they would like message on a group chat if I might like my sessions, if I was cooked or not. And so my agent was like, stop. Yeah, you just stop. But now I think I'm like in a place where I'm very healthy, and I really enjoy it. I mean, I write sentences. I love it. I use it, and it's as well as it's. I know people are like, oh, why do you write so much? But they can unfollow me, but I use it as my training log. So I know some people writing books and stuff. I do it as that. So when I look back, so it's like, and I really enjoy it. So, but I'm on it now. I'm happy to be on it.
That's good. Go follow him if you're not already, but you probably are. You've got thousands of followers, haven't you?
15? Was it 15?
15, yeah. Need to up that game, because a lot of the bloody running influencers are sky further than me. So, I need to get Strava to bloody contact, like sponsor me. That would be cool, but I haven't got that yet. That's the aim.
Yeah. Well, maybe pick up a few more from this. Let's hope.
So 29th on the Monday. So because it was race week, I did a double cross trainer. I I got to a phase now, so in this block, where I run every other Monday, and then the other Mondays is double cross train until, like, unless it's like a race week, and then I will cross train on the Monday. I'm a big fan of cross train just because, you know, it reduces the load, and it is quite good fun after, like, especially when you do a long run on the Sunday and you're a bit tired and everything. It's actually quite nice to just watch videos. Ran to Japan's every Monday morning. It comes on Monday morning, so it's perfect. And I do enjoy it. But then it's the second session in the evening when you have to go back to the gym and it's crammed. That's when it's a bit horrible. So for both, I just go completely off heart rate. So it was like 1 to 5 in the morning, 1 to 4, and I play some games. So like every like 7.5 minutes, I increase the gradient or the incline. So I'm going from like a 1 to 8, or sometimes it's like, you know, the sessions on the Techno Gym cross trainers. So yeah, it was just I did say it was very boring. So it was just 2 hours of cross training for the day, split into 2 sessions. Then on the Tuesday, it was
Before you move on, are you setting like a limit to how hard you push on those days?
Yes. So it's basically my average heart rate has to be below 130. And the max I did push it a little bit too much in the morning. It was 158 in the morning, so I did fail. That was a bit naughty of me. Normally below 150, so I failed that. But normally it's like under 130 and 150 max. That's how I like it. That's how I almost see my easy runs as well. So it's essentially what I do for the easy runs.
Yeah.
Then on the Tuesday morning, I still like doing quite a hard effort on the Tuesday before race. And this is where I kept my jogs steady instead of no standing still, none of that. So I did 7 by K, a 2K, and then 3 by K. So the first 7 by K with 200 steady in between was like to my LT1 max. So it looks very complicated on Strava. And so it was like my LT1 max is 175. I need to do retesting because this is testing from January. So of course it might be lower, it might be higher. I haven't done the testing since, so I'm just going off testing from January. And I was running, it was like 3 flat to 304. It felt really, really controlled. Then I wanted to pick up and do like almost 4 to 5K of volume faster just before the weekend. So I ran a 2K in 5:44, and then 3 by K 2:45, 2:42, and then the last one controlled it back to half marathon pace. So it's almost just, I got my max heart rate to 193 actually. So I was pushing. I'm not gonna lie, I was pushing. And I don't know. I'm a big fan of getting a little bit of stimulus on the Tuesday, so a little bit of harder. I know other people might disagree and everything, but I feel like for me, almost like 15 minutes of a bit hard split into different like kilometer reps, whatever, does really benefit me quite a lot. So that was good fun. Hennigan was doing his own whatever he does, lactate testing a bit by himself around the track, so it was quite fun to watch.
Jake, do you come up with a session yourself, or is this coming from your coach?
No, it's coming from my coach. It was supposed to be 12 by K. I did a 2K rep because I was so bored of just doing Ks of 200, and I said to him, he's like, why do you do 2K rep? I said, Gav, I am so bloody bored of Ks. I've done Ks for the last 2-3 months, like almost every Tuesday. I was like, I just wanted to try a 2K. So yeah, a bit naughty again. I know, I'm very bad. And then in the evening, I wanted to really, really recover before Cardiff Half. So I just did 40 minutes on an indoor bike. The indoor bikes at the gym are so... Yeah, so I did 181 watts and my average heart rate was 190. Like, that's nearly like 2.5 to 3 for the cyclists out there, 3 times your body weight. So it's, what is it? It's like
3 watts a kilo.
Yeah.
Yeah. there's no chance I'm doing that with my heart at 119. Because if that's true, like I am Pogacar, like I'm better. Like
I mean, you might
I
be.
can hold his watts. So the bike is definitely wrong. The next day I jogged with Clara. This time we actually went over a bit slightly hillier route because the last time we did a flat route, she buggered her ankle and blamed it on me. So we don't run down towards the Taff, towards the Butte anymore because everyone still says it was my fault, but I was nowhere near her. That was really nice actually because I hadn't seen Clara in a while, and then I captioned it "not in the oven or microwave" because I've heard it quite a few times on this podcast.
It's me, Dave, and Jen.
And I'm like, you guys, and I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan, so I'm like, you guys need to sort it out because you guys are because you're doing very well, but you're getting to Valencia, so that's what I was referring to. And saying, yeah, so that was completely aimed at you three. Because I
mean by that your heart
listened...
rate's a little bit higher and you're feeling like good? Is that what you're saying? Like you just for the pace?
Oh no! I wrote that because I listened to the pod right before I ran.
Okay,
and
right.
the others were saying about not in the oven or microwave.
Yeah. It's not me. Those two love this analogy of being cooked, and like that's Mark 5 within your comments on Strava last week.
I know.
Burnt frozen pizza as well.
Yeah, burnt the pizza.
I got quite a few comments. Like someone commented, "I was in the air fryer big time." It's like, and I didn't mean it like that, but so I messaged Dave after and said to him, "You have to get to that start line, and I'm not letting you say that ever again." So and I'm glad they've had a down week, and I'm glad they enjoy the wedding and whatever, but not a fan of that. And straight after, went to the indoor bike again, was Pogacar Watts again for some reason, because my girlfriend and I, we went to Red Rum Club in the evening, so I didn't have time in the evening, which was quite fun. Then Thursday, I do like a light session. So my coach again likes me to do... So I literally go out the door, 10 minutes easy, and then it's like 2K at tempo. So here I put a max on my heart rate at 166. And then it's 2 by 600 to 2 400 to 2 200. So it's literally, and I'm so like a bit geeky, but I go off cadence.
Yeah, this is on my list to ask you about. Yeah, explain going off cadence for your reps.
So I don't even have a foot pod. So I think the watch is okay. Let's say it's 90% reliable in terms of cadence. It could be completely wrong, but I know my exact cadence for a 5K, a 10K, a half, and a marathon. So when, for example, Thursday I'll have a session, and you can plug your session into your watch. So it's like, again, it's K reps because my coach loves that. But each, like a K, like it's, it's like alternating. So one at tempo, one a little bit quicker, one at tempo. So it's so funny, but on my like training log on the actual session, I'll write, instead of heart rate, I'll write for one rep, cadence 187 to 190, and I have to be in that cadence. Then the rep next, I have to be in a certain heart rate. Then the next rep, I have to be in a cadence. So I don't know why, because I think it's just to make the session a bit more fun. Because like I think you were saying, Owen, I don't look at pace when I do these sessions. I really, really enjoy going off heart rate because your body, you wake up, your body could be a bit more fatigued, your heart rate could be lower, and I'm a big fan of that. And I think it's definitely all in my head. But I think if I work at the same cadence as I would race, I don't know, I get a boost.
I like it. I mean, I think you who's a full-time professional athlete, it's got to be fun, isn't it? And actually, if you're achieving the same thing, regardless if you're going off of cadence or heart rate, you're running. If you look at your paces, the average is the same, isn't it? But you're not obsessing about what the split time is.
No.
It takes the pressure off, doesn't it?
I think because again, like it just makes it a lot more fun, and it's a lot of fun because that's why I've started going up over the hills of Rada, because your cadence. I can say to my coach, I worked at 10K field. It was about a minute a k slower, but my cadence was the same because going up a hill. It's just, like how often we run by ourselves, and it just makes it a bit more enjoyable, and that's how I look at it. And yeah, and I think I will never change it. I've had the same question over and over again, and of course it's another thing, like my beautiful loop you guys love so much.
This was the next question. Defend the loop, please.
My beautiful loop. It's like on the trail, for example, if it's a little bit slippery and stuff, if I didn't use cadence or heart rate, I just went off pace, I would be absolutely bombing it along there. Whereas, when I've trained with you, Dan, I'm going off completely heart rate. I don't care. For example, one way up the Taff is a bit slower because it's slightly a gradient, and then one ways down is slower. It's faster. And I'm just completely going off that because I know at the end of the day, like you said, my body's getting the same stimulus. And to be honest, I've done it for the last 2 years and I haven't got injured, like touch wood. So yeah, and I did get very, very, very pissed off when you guys slated my loop. I'm not going to lie. I cherish that loop. I love it. You go to the trail, run back home, and you get like 5 miles. So no more of that, please. I think the last session we did Dan tell you there was a bloody tractor? We had to go on the road. It's well funny.
Yeah, I wondered on that one. I was looking on Dan's GPS.
Yeah.
And one of them you were in the road. Yeah.
Yeah.
We had to detour, didn't we? Because there was a tractor going along cutting the hedges along the Taff Trail. So we had a quick detour over the bank, wasn't it? And then along the road. No, I get why you do it, Jake. I'm half complaining, half taking the piss. But
but I must admit,
yeah. For your LT1 sessions, it's great, isn't it? For me, I'm going, if I was in a flat here, my paces would be so good because I'm feeling fit and I feel a bit cheated, but I completely get why you're doing it. And it is fun and it's organic, isn't it? And it's, you're not, it just takes the stress out of it, doesn't it?
Exactly. That's why I like going in, but I have absolutely loved training with Dan, to be honest. It's so fun. And I'm getting him that 209.29. I've promised him that. So then on the Friday, I didn't do anything else that day. I like when I really, really wanted to recover for this race. And then at the start of the week, when you see there's bloody Storm, Amy, whatever, I knew I needed to recover even more. The Friday, I just did a recovery 10K, again, up to my favourite loop, because it's easy. This is where I said I promised everyone I would get my average heart rate above 182 for the race. I failed. It was 182 exactly, so I do apologise. I was starting to get quite nervous, and then the following day, my heart rate actually was a little bit higher than normal, and it's not like concern or anything. So I had to, but of course, when you get a little bit nervous, you're like, oh crap, is it illness, whatever. So I searched up what Pogacar said, put that on, and said when he's fatigued, his heart rate is 140 to 145, but when he's fresh, it's 150 to 155. So it screamed out I was fresh.
That's at his zone 2, right? Or his LT1 or whatever. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So again, on Saturday, I do a double on a Saturday before a race. So my coach likes me to almost like really, it's literally like I did 5.5k in the morning on the Saturday morning. Oh, sorry, 6k in the morning, Saturday morning, and then 5.5. It's literally like 7 miles max, but spread into 2. And it's like, I think why he likes it is he doesn't like me getting out my routine too much. So as runners, we're doubling, for example, us three, we're doubling almost every single day. And, sometimes when you don't double, you can almost feel a little bit lethargic the next morning, especially after rest day, whatever. So he doesn't really like me getting out of that routine. And I quite enjoy it. Like, on a Saturday evening, like, instead of just thinking about the race, you go out, you listen to a podcast, you listen to some music, and you really get ready for it. And then Sunday, saw Dan, had a great chat before, as always, and got stuck in with the race. So it went very well, actually. Around 62.50, I was 10th overall, first Brit. It was brilliant, but they only had a pacer for 59.30. So I went with it for 2K, and I was like, nah, like, again, from like next to the stadium, the football stadium, that bit was insane. The tailwind was insane. Like you wouldn't even have to push. And I knew as soon as I saw my watch, it was like 2:49 first K, 2:50 second K. I was like, okay, I have to back off. And Safer and I backed off. And the next like 8-9K, I just ran solo, but I was just literally just saw them ahead. I caught Callum at like 11K, and that was when, is it Lloyd George Avenue, back to town?
Yeah.
And that was just over the barrage. That was quite tough. I'm not going to, like, that was just like a mile of just like it wasn't, the winds wasn't too bad, but when it's just there the whole way. And so I was like sit on Callum for a bit, and we caught like 3 or 4 of the athletes who just completely blew up. And we got to mile 9. So when you took a right, right before Roth Wreck, we then ended up, I saw on your splits down, we ran a 2:55 again because there was no wind in our face. So it's very, very, the splits are so odd. And as soon as I got to Roth Wreck, the bottom Roth Wreck, I knew Callum was hurting a bit, so I put in a surge. But my surge was only a 3-minute K, but because it was windy, it actually felt a lot harder than a 3-minute K. And yeah, I didn't get overtaken by anyone. I got up towards Roth Lake, and I still felt really, really good. And it's one of those where there were 3 guys who ran 62:25, so 25 seconds ahead. And when you can just see them the whole race, and I look back and it's like, should I have almost committed a bit earlier? But then you never know if you might break. And I was really, really chuffed with the time. It's one of those where I spoke to my coach after, and like, Cardiff is quick, and it's when I did in 2018, it was the most perfect day, and I know it can be the most perfect day there. But it's a really, really solid run, and I was really, really happy with it. And it's the first time I beat Callum Hawkins. So, no, I was well chuffed. It just makes me think that I understand why everyone goes to Copenhagen, goes to Valencia, because the weather's going to be good. But we had to race the day after Storm Amy, which wasn't fun.
Come to Barcelona in February. That's what I said.
No, I've already entered.
Oh, right, okay.
My agent's put me in, so that's the aim.
Nice. I need to get my place then.
Did you did you work with Callum like a lot of the way? Because like when I saw you at sort of mile 8.5, you were still together, and it looked like working together a bit.
Yeah, when I caught him, I knew it was going to be a race like at 11K, and then you see the splits coming a bit slower and stuff because of the circumstance. I knew the time was a bit out the window, and I knew my main aim was to break 62, but I needed the perfect day to do that. And I needed a group, not a group at 59:30, for example. And at 15K, when I put the surge in, I like gestured back. I was like, Callum, stick with me. But unfortunately, I think like he had done a lot of the work solo as well, because he got dropped at like 5K. And so when you get dropped by a group like that, it is tough, and then you have to run it all by yourself. And yeah, and then when I knew I just wanted to beat Callum just really, really badly, so I put that surge in, and then it's quite nice because there were 2 Africans ahead of me, and I was just literally locking into them, and I caught both of them just before that Minging Hill. And then I knew like my strength was there because I was catching them the whole time on the hill, the little hills and stuff. But yeah, it was just and my last K was still a 2:51. I know it's downhill, but I was still really, really. I could still keep going, but it's just one of those days where people who did the race, and like for example, you ran the course, know it's worth a lot more.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to show like people that I can race and everything. Like I knew the circumstances weren't going to be good, so I was like, let's see how high up I can finish in the top 10 in a field like that. I was very pleased with, and like it's annoying because 5th place was like, I think 6th place was like 25 seconds ahead, or 5th place was 25 seconds ahead. And it's just one of those like, where could I have gone? But I just don't think I could have. that's what I'm trying to improve on for next time.
Did you have anything like were you looking at your watch throughout, or are you just racing to it like instinct? Like you're obviously saying you got split. Are you like getting a kilometer split?
Kilometer split. I was looking at my heart rate. I go off like Dan does, going off my heart rate. So by the second K, it was already above 180. So, but it was just little. I actually, another thing I use is I don't look at splits. I look at effort pace. So this is another thing I do. So effort pace is, so you know the hill at 5K. So instead of, for example, if someone wants to run 70 minutes, they have to run like 319, 320. So if they're running up there, people might be like, I need to hit 319 up the hill, for example, because, to hold the pace. Whereas I go off effort pace. So I just want to hold anything under 3-minute Ks on the effort. And so up the hill, it would be worth a 310. But yeah, again, all in my head. But I go completely off the effort pace. And but then, of course, every K it came up. And shout out to Chorus, because I think I had the closest distance to the half marathon. So anyone out there who needs a Chorus, get Chorus. But no, it was a very, very good day. It's just, when you cross the line, I slowed down after. We were really happy with how it went. It's just, you look at the weather today, it was perfect. And it's just like, you miss it by a day, you miss it by 2 hours. Even in the evening, the evening on the Sunday was perfect. You're like, if only, but
it could have been the day before, couldn't it? It could have been the day before.
Exactly. So, no, it was good. It was very good. But not much running with Dan, which made me upset. So I need to get back on that.
I did try, but I couldn't. I tried to get there for your Friday shakeout, but I couldn't get there.
I know. Disappointed. You would have loved the loop.
You did a lot of running with Callum Hawkins though, which I think is a pretty good good consolation. And like as a fan of the sport, it's really cool to see him back, because like Pete Callum Hawkins is like, yeah, chef's
we were
kiss.
talking about that after. Like, he's one of the greatest ever like distance guys we've had, and like it was quite. I had like a one of those. I was like, oh, when he came up to me, it's like, let's do a cool down together. I was like, oh my god, it's Callum. But like, I get on well with his dad, and I was taking the mick out of his dad for beating him and stuff like that. So yeah, it is really cool, and he's one of those guys. Like, of course, we're not like mates. We like see each other races, but he's up there with like top 3 or top 5 people I want to see get back to their best. Because I still remember him waking up and coming 4th at Doha and stuff like that. It's just, and he has been through an absolute terrible state, but he's doing. I know he said about Valencia Marathon, so but he's getting back into really good shape. So yeah, it was really cool to see him.
Yeah, because he broke the Scottish 10-mile record recently, didn't
he?
Just looked like a random club event.
I know.
He was so good, wasn't he? I mean, I think 4th at 2 World Championships, and he ran 2:08 before Super Shoes.
I know.
Yeah.
I know he can get back to it, because like even his run in Cardiff is still very, very good. It's just he just needs to stay injured. Like, he just needs to. But that's another topic, because I asked you, Dan, before the race, what's the point of steady running for a warm up? Because he was doing it, wasn't he?
He was going pretty hard, wasn't he, around the castle? Yeah.
So maybe another time, but I did ask the question, and I asked it to be on the pod again. So that's maybe something you guys have to talk about.
Yeah, I'll talk about my warm up, my priming, when we get to my turn.
Yeah, so 100k. That's 100k and a bit of cross training. So no gym, don't gym on my race weeks, if that makes sense. But a lot of dog walking, but the dog's gone now, so not dead, but gone back home.
I'm glad to clarify that.
Yeah.
And how are your legs feeling now? 2 days post.
Oh man, how I celebrated, Dan, was I got home, I finished a whole bottle of Baileys by myself and a champagne. And I had a Baileys in one hand and a whole Pringles jar in the other. Yeah, and then I had a complete rest day yesterday. I think I walked to the local shop, which is 300 meters away, twice. I wasn't hungover though, because I had a whole like double Nando's that week. So it was like celebrating with a chocolate orange Baileys.
I was going to say, I'm sure I saw somewhere chocolate orange Baileys.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was actually like, I finished the bottle and I wasn't too bad.
So
but
is it just you by yourself drinking a whole bottle of chocolate orange Baileys?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I like it.
I deserved it.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Good way to celebrate, I reckon. A little bit different to my celebration. But yeah. All right. That was thanks for that, Jake. Really good to get an insight on your prep and psychology and just the race itself. Any other questions, Owain, for Jake?
I think we've covered a lot of ground there.
Yeah. So I don't want to take. I was like, I don't want to take up too much time just talking about my training because. Yeah. So sorry about that.
All good. We got through a lot and didn't go off the rails, which can't ask for more.
Right,
go on then, Dan.
Like my week, didn't I? 29th. So I was in West Wales on an Osborne family holiday in Broadhaven, which I think I talked about at the back end of. Well, I talked about on a podcast last week. Really nice, a bit hilly for my liking, but it was nice on the Monday, Tuesday, not having the pressure to think I need to go out and do loads of running because I'd done 200k the week before. I knew that I needed to taper pretty hard into the race because I'd had quite a big block of training. I think I did 185 and 190 and 200k weeks, and was starting to feel not in the oven, not in the microwave or whatever, but a bit tired, and really wanted to give Cardiff Half a good go, but also was seeing it as a download period before going into another block of training for Valencia. So Monday I did 10k in 4:20 pace on the lanes in Pembrokeshire, and that was it. Literally just 10k. Did 70 minutes on Tuesday morning, 4:14 a k, 117 heart rate. That was it for Tuesday. I was having some back pain, which I'd mentioned, I think, earlier in the podcast. And I've sort of had a bit of a chronically bad back because I'm getting old. For even going to Valencia last year, I remember struggling with it a little bit. And it's like the lower back. And I went to see the physio about 4 weeks ago, and he gave me some exercises, gave me some soft tissue stuff, and it really helped. And it made making good progress. But then this week, at the start of the week, it was really bad, and it was basically bad all week. And I think it was being on family holiday, chucking Nye in the air loads, picking him up, carrying him on my shoulders. It just didn't agree with my back. So I was getting a bit nervous at this point, thinking actually now it's starting to affect my running. It had just been like day to day, but yeah, it was starting to affect my running a little bit. So I was a bit nervous about that. And Wednesday, we're home now, did a session, felt absolutely dreadful. So I did 2 by a mile off 60 seconds in 4:58, and then 8 400s off 30 seconds in 70. I'm a complete opposite of Jake. I like to really chill out on race week, and I find that I respond better to that. And it's so individual, that taper bit, isn't it? Like, you've just got to do what makes you feel good. And I've tried. A standard session for me used to be like a mile at a pretty good pace. Then I'd do like 4 400s pretty much flat out off a minute, and then 2 200s flat out after that. This was probably about 5 or 6 years ago. That'd be my standard session. And every time I'd feel like awful come race day. I'd feel good on the session. I'd be running like 63s on the 400s going, yeah, I'm going really well here, and like 29s for the 2s. I get to race day and feel bad. So now I like to keep it pretty controlled, but heart rate was fine and the pace felt comfortable, but biomechanically I felt awful. Like my legs just felt bad, and partly my back, I think partly the more hills on the over the long weekend in Pembrokeshire just did not fill me with confidence. I was going to do 10 4s, but I cut it short because I thought, what's the point? I've done enough now. Anyway, that was the Wednesday. I doubled. I just did 30 minutes in the afternoon. I was waiting for the comments to come in saying, is that even a run? Because it was only 30 minutes. Because I've been giving Jen some stick, but none came. So I got away with that one. where are we up to? So that's Thursday now, aren't we? So I did an hour in the morning, 4:10 a K. That's all I did that day. Then Friday, is it Friday now? I'm really losing track of the days, sorry.
Yeah, it's Friday.
Friday, another 30-minute run, ran with Jemima, 5:45 a K. Average heart
Craziest
rate.
thing I've ever seen.
Average heart rate, 87. 87. That's definitely the lowest I've ever seen it on a run. But yeah, so heart rate on easy runs has been super low at the minute, and it's not because I'm in the oven or overtrained or whatever. I don't think, because I ran a really good race at the weekend. I think it's just low. 100%. And then I
can I ask what
it
must help you? Does it help you, like, because your heart rate, because you said about your 5K heart rate was like 168 the other day, and your half now is 171. Surely, like, confidence now from your easy runs, the gap you have is huge. Like, surely that must fill you with so much confidence at the minute.
Yeah, I mean, that one of my easy runs have got a little bit quicker, and actually my heart rate is lower kind of thing. Like, I always used to be 7-minute miling, 4:20 K, pretty much every run. And actually, looking back into my block into Valencia last year, there was quite a lot of runs at 4:30 a K. Like, if I'm super tired, and actually I'm trending more towards 4:10 or faster, and my heart rate is sticking under the 120s. Yeah. And for me, like, I always just think if I'm in good shape, I'm 120 heart rate at 7-minute mile pace.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, the pace has come down and my heart rate's come down. So I don't know what to put it down to, because it's just taken a good step on over the last few months. But yeah, I mean, I'm feeling really efficient and at those easy paces. It does make me think, if I went and do 100K or something like that now, I can run at a 6-minute mile pace and my heart rate will be like 130. So
because what were you 20? You're only 20 seconds off your PB for the half on the weekend, and that was compared to Barcelona compared to Cardiff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really confident of my shape, and my heart rate.
Oh yeah,
my heart rate is a great tool for that, I think, and it tells you.
Oh yeah,
it tells you a lot about. I think I said before about the Cardiff 10K, that I can tell if I've really pushed myself by looking at the heart rate, and also it's not necessarily. It's a bit of a red flag if my heart rate is not as high as I expect it to be, and it sort of just puts some rationale behind it as well. Like for the podium, the Home Nations 5K, I just couldn't push, and that's what it felt like when I saw my heart rate, and my heart rate wasn't up. Like there's something going on there. So many things affect heart rate. It's not hanging your hat on it too much, but I think it's just another information point, another tool, and it just helps you have a better understanding of your training. But yeah, heart rate per minute is super low. So Friday afternoon, I doubled. So I went into Cardiff for this one because I had to get my hair cut. Very important. That got me about 2 kilos lighter because I had a pre-race haircut. And then I was having a belated leaving do from Cardiff Met. I left my role there like 2 months ago. And we finally met up for some drinks. Say drinks, I had one drink.
You're on the ciders, Steve Jones style.
Steve Jones style. Well, yeah. I'm still a West Country boy at heart, you see. So I had to have a cider. So I had my one cider, but ran before that, and it was like torrential rain. I had my headphones in. They were like cutting out by the time I got to like halfway. They were like every other second I was getting the music, and it was not fun. But my legs have just felt the context again to this week is my legs just felt rubbish all week. Like I said, it felt bad on that session, and they've just felt pretty lethargic. And to try and counteract that, I added like 4 times 15 seconds strides into this run off 30 seconds jog, just thinking maybe I need a bit of a stimulus. Like you were saying, Jake, I just need something a bit faster to get my legs going, get a bit of pop. And I knew it was always going to be a bit of a risk with quite a dramatic taper, because like going into a marathon, I'd always go 2-week taper. But I didn't want to commit 2 weeks to a half because I've got Valencia as the bigger goal. But I think that is one of the risks you take with just a sudden cut in mileage, is that your legs just don't feel great necessarily. But actually, this run did feel a bit better. So 11, what did I do? 46 minutes, 11K, 408 a K, and then I did 4 times 15 seconds, which, what are they at? Like 252, 241, 244, 216 a K apparently for the last one. I'm not sure quite by that, but with those such short intervals with GPS isn't great, is it? But it started to feel a bit better. Had my one cider, and it was nice to catch up with some colleagues and Owain, and then was home Saturday. So Saturday, I got out. I say early, 8:55. 40
early
minutes.
for you.
Yeah, 40 minutes, 4:10 a K. If it's before 9 a.m., that's early for me these days. But then I was Jemima said, right, I'm having Nye all of tomorrow because you're racing. You're taking Nye out. So I had a nice morning with Nye, the classic stuff of going to the library, read loads of books. He kept picking books which were in Welsh. I was trying my best to read them. I was very unsuccessful. He was disinterested quite quickly. But yeah, read a few books. Tesco Cafe, good carb load strategy here. And then my cousin was racing the half as well, and I've been coaching him for a year now. So he came. They live in North Devon, but they were staying in Newport. Came to us on the afternoon. So I had an extra bonus shakeout of him because he hadn't done his run yet. So we did 23 minutes, 4.8K, 446 a K. It was nice to have catch up with him and chat with him. Heart rate a bit high here, 108, but I think that was all the talking.
Fresh.
Yeah, fresh, ready to go. So yeah, I had my bonus shakeout, and I don't mind doubling the day before a race when it's something like that. Like you said, Jake, actually, you're used to training twice a day. This was actually the best run I'd felt all week. This 20-minute jog with my cousin, and I don't know if it was just that the pace was a bit slower, or you've got like my first run with company that week, but that was my first run, and I was like, "Yep, I'm feeling good for tomorrow. Right, ready to go." So that brings us to race day. So I got up at 6 a.m. had my Rice Krispies. That's my go-to breakfast of a minute pre-race or hard session, which I quite like. Just something Phil Sessman is really into is his low residue diet, isn't it? And actually getting rid of anything with fat and fiber in. And I respond really well to that, I think. So Rice Krispies is a good option there. Just nothing you don't need. It's just carbs. With some orange juice as well. Get some of that fructose in, which the liver likes pre-race. Your liver glycogen will drop a bit overnight because that's helping maintain your blood glucose. And fructose is a great source of energy for replenishing liver glycogen. So that was 6 a.m. Drove into Cardiff, managed to find a great parking spot just off Catay's Terrace, and then a walk in, short walk into town. Got to the castle. One of the cool things about Cardiff is the elites warm up in the castle, which is cool. It's rubbish for warming up, isn't it, Jake? As in you're on grass, there's a tiny little loop, but it's a pretty cool backdrop and atmosphere, being in that spot.
They used to let everyone in the sub 90-minute pen in there, and I think that's I mean, it's one of my complaints. I think it's one of a lot of people's complaints is it's gotten worse, and it was I've been in there once, and it was amazing. You walk out the castle and you're in the pen.
Yeah,
it's a really good. I know for you guys, with elite starts and stuff, you're sort of used to it, but for people a bit further back, just being able to walk out of the warm up area to your pen is in a major sort of half is pretty cool.
Yeah. It is really cool. But yeah, you're straight out of the race starts just outside the castle, and we're 50 meters from the start. You walk past everybody. I saw so many people I knew waiting in the pens already. You've been crammed in there for ages, which we're very fortunate to be able to literally jog and do our strides right before the race. We're not just penned in there. But yeah, so got there arrived in Cardiff at 8. So one of the things that I trialed this week and prepping into Cardiff was was the currants or New Zealand blackcurrant like protocol, which we talked about last week. So we were kind of gifted this New Zealand blackcurrant supplement, which like it's got these polyphenols in anthocyanins, and we're not quite sure of the mechanism, but it seems to help muscle recovery. It seems to help performance acutely. So one of the studies that I looked at when when designing my nutrition strategy into this race was a paper from 2023, and they basically used an acute dose of these New Zealand blackcurrant extracts acutely to see if it affected performance. And in this study, it was only 16 participants, but they did a 5K run, and they either took the 900 milligrams of the supplement or a placebo, and just basically did a 5K time trial, and 3% improvement with the supplement versus a placebo, which is like more than you'd expect just out of like it's enough to be significant basically. And I think 14 out of the 16 improved. So I thought, well, I'm just going to follow that protocol. So I did a loading dose all week, taking in 600 milligrams every day, but then 2 hours before, which is apparently when you need to take it to get the peak dose as you start the race, I took 4 of the tablets, which is 1,200 milligrams of this anthocyanins. And yeah, I mean, I had a good day. You can never tell if that was if it was a supplement or not, which is why case studies are a bit rubbish. But I didn't have any adverse effects, and maybe the only reason I was faster this time than last year was the anthocyanins in these New Zealand blackcurrants. But I tried that, so I took that 2 hours before the start, 8 o'clock. Half an hour before, I took 400 milligrams of caffeine. Not 400 milligrams, 200 milligrams. I was very cautious not to do an Owain before his before what was the race you did?
Snowdon Mountain Race.
Snowdon Mountain Race, yeah, and give myself caffeine. But normally, like normal recommendations are like 3 to 6 milligram per kilo of body weight. So I thought, right, 200 milligrams, that's just over 3 milligrams per kilo, should be fine. So I took that half an hour before. Warm up. Jake was super keen to warm up. He was I could tell he was nervous. He wanted to get going. Like 9 o'clock, he's like, right, let's warm up then. And we've got an hour to the race, and it's a half marathon. So I did. I thought, fine. It's nicer to do it with company, wasn't it? So join you and a few other guys, wasn't it? And I jogged for 10 minutes. A bit more than that. 13 minutes I jogged for 4:49 a K on this grass loop. We must have done so many loops around the castle. And then I did 2-minute priming, just in my like jogging shoes, because the grass was a bit slippery, and if I was going to put my race shoes, I didn't think that was going to end very well. GPS is telling me 3:01 a K, but I think that's a bit of an artifact of a short loop GPS like trace. It was definitely slower than 3:01 a K. But like the idea, Jake, is that I said to you at the time that when you're you actually use your anaerobic capacity like most at the start of a race, because you need to use that system to get the energy you need to start running at 3-minute K pace, like straight from the go. It takes time for our body for our heart rate and our aerobic metabolism to ramp up to get to a steady state. So actually we use more of our anaerobic system at the start of a race when it's something like a half marathon. And you don't necessarily want that. You don't want to produce a load of lactate at the start of a race. It's better if you can switch on the systems a bit quicker, get the aerobic system going, which only comes by actually doing a bit more of an intense warm-up. So you actually want to produce some lactate in a warm-up, because that means that your aerobic system is going to rev up a bit quicker. In a half marathon, I think it's a bit like take it or leave it. It doesn't matter. If it's a 5K, it's definitely more important.
Yeah.
And people are just doing a bit more of an intense warm-up for that. Yeah, so I did that, finished that, I think 30 minutes before the race, and then out to the race start, a bit of jogging up and down. I don't like doing the strides beforehand. I feel like I'm ready to go then. I've already done like a 2-minute effort, so then I'm pretty happy just to jog on the start line when everyone's doing their strides. Race goes, and like you said, Owain immediately 2 packs. Jake is gone. Like 400 meters in, Jake is gone. I can see, East Africans, Jake and Callum, they're off into the distance. And I thought from then I might be running by myself for 21k, but super lucky. Found out like a pack like straight away. Everyone sort of just came with me, and we were running like 3-minute Ks just outside. And there was my expectations going into a race was it could be very lonely, and I had pretty much someone there the whole way. It was great. Like we had a really big pack up until like 6k, where you go up the hill, and then it started to break up a little bit, but it was really good. But you could definitely feel the wind, couldn't you? Like the first couple of k, I mean, you turn, you could really feel it when you turn left past just before the stadium, and you feel like this massive tailwind. But there were it was, we got in a good groove, and people were working together really nicely, like taking turns with the wind. And it was
I mean, the wind was actually stronger than it was at Great North.
And you
so it's like, you know, that app who was like trying to show that, you know, the wind effects, whatever.
Meteor pace.
That's it. And he goes to me after race, oh, yours is about a minute worth. But then their app crashed, and they actually wrote in it was a wrong wind reading. So actually it was worth a minute and a half. I mean, because like you said, Dan, like if you were running by yourself, there were gusts of over 40 kilometers. Like, what are you supposed to do? You're just working so hard for it. But I was going to ask if you were leading your pack for most of it or anything.
So like to start with, we were actually quite good at sharing the pace. I think I was making, like I was on the front to start with, but then quite a few guys went with that and were good at taking the lead. But so I actually felt all right. But then the one thing that popped up like straight away was my back was like already like, really like bad. And like when I fatigue, I get that like pelvis tilt forward. So that I'm one of those runners who ends up with an arch back, and it doesn't look pretty. And I've just felt like I was already in that position from like 200 meters in, not feeling very comfortable. And I was like, it's just really annoying. And later on in my race, my hamstring started to go as well. And I think that's just because I've tilted my pelvis forward. That's like stretching my hamstrings more and loading them, because that's not normal you're not recruiting your hamstrings that much relative to your quads, but that's where I was feeling fatigue. But anyway, we were in a good pack for 6k up that hill. Logan Smith was really pushing it. And I was like, I'm working too hard here. I'd been on the Meteor pace app beforehand, thinking, right, this hill, I should be like 3:10 a k going up it. We're 3-minute Ks still up this hill, and I'm dropping back there. But then going down the other side, I like a descent, and I'm quite good at descending. So I caught them all up and actually went off the front of our group then. And luckily, Logan came with me, and this guy, Emmett Jennings, who I didn't know at the time, who's from Ireland, super nice, spoke to him afterwards, but ended up with like us three as a pack, and we sort of left this pack of we had a pack of about 10, and it became just us three. And I would never normally take a gel in a half marathon, but I took a couple with me, just in case. And like just going down that hill, I felt like a bit like hypo-y, a bit low blood sugar. So I took a gel then, and then was fine. So I don't know if it was in my head or what, but took a gel then. And anyway, it was going across the barrage. It was so helpful to have other people there. So got to 10k. I went through 10k in 30:30, I think, down Lord George Avenue, and it was a headwind down Lord George Avenue, wasn't it? And at this point, I can see my heart rate. It's up at the 172, and I'm sort of panicking a bit, thinking, I feel like I'm now working quite hard. I think I'm going to have to leave these guys here. I think they're going to drop me. But I decided, right, you're better off sticking with them and pushing on a bit rather than ending up by yourself. And if I need to drop back a bit later, then so be it. But if I can stick with them a bit longer, that would be great. And then we turned it off Lord George Avenue, get a tailwind, and then instantly feeling a bit better. Still feeling like I'm working, maybe a bit too hard, but just managed to stick with them. And then I must have seen you quite soon after this. What was it when you were, Owain? Was it Albany Road?
Yeah, so 8.5 you would have seen me at.
Yeah, because that's when we dropped Emmett then. Logan has seen someone he knows as well. He shouted, "Well done, Logan. Great job. Keep going." He puts in a bit of a spurt, and we're picking up the pace here. I'm going, I don't know if this is too fast for me, but I'm, again, stuck with him. And I think he put in an effort, but it cost him a bit too much because then he started, I could sense that his breathing had gone up. He was slowing down. And when we turned to go along Roth Wreck, I put in a bit of an effort and started to take some ground on him. And I really wanted to beat him. I'll be honest. I really wanted to beat him. I'd spoken to him at the start. I knew who he was. It's like, I want to beat you today. And I knew that I was also in the hunt for being like in the top 3 Brits as well, because I think there was one guy ahead of us. So yeah, managed to put some ground into him. But I was also conscious that the year before I'd gone too early at exactly the same spot around Roth Wreck and really suffered in the back end, but managed to hold it together. Nye and Jemima were waiting for me at 10 miles at Roth Lake, so that was a bit of extra motivation. And then managed to catch like Sefu Jamal. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, he came off of me.
Yeah, because I thought at one point we were going to fly past him because he must have run almost the whole race by himself, because he went off with you guys, got dropped, but then just wasn't coming back to us very quickly. And eventually I caught him just going up the hill at 10 miles. But he'd obviously had a bit more in the tank because he'd probably been running, because he'd been running by himself so long. I think he was just, you can push a bit more when someone comes up to you. So I ended up running with him like pretty much all the way round to the end of Roth Lake. And then 12 miles to go. No, what is it? 11 miles is the end of the lake, isn't it? So
yeah,
I actually felt really good here and really strong, and was like, right, I'm going to drop him now. I can sense that Logan isn't that far behind, so I want to get a gap on him. And was just flat out to a finish as hard as I could up that hill at 12 miles. Down Cathays Terrace, I was like 2:55 a K pace, but I could still see that Logan wasn't that far behind, and I know that he's got some speed. He ran like a 14:09 5K in the summer, and he's come from that more speed background in terms of what he's been training at most recently. So it's like, right, I've got to get a gap here. Didn't really know what time I was on for, but it was, I think I saw a 1.1, at 20K. I was like, I think I'm 64 here, so that's good. Just flat out as hard as I could. And what was it? 64:28, which was 45 seconds quicker than last year, but 20 seconds off my PB. But that was worth a PB. Like looking at going back to the Meteo Pace app, like apparently it was worth 2 seconds a K. That gets me in a 63 high. My PB was 64:07 from Barcelona, which was like a perfect course, perfect day, a pack the whole way. So I was really happy with my run. I think it sets me up really nicely. 45. The most confidence was I was 45 seconds faster than last year, and last year was better conditions. It wasn't perfect, but it was better conditions. So, say it's worth a minute faster than last year. Well, that's 2 minutes over a marathon, isn't it? So, 2:11, maybe on track for.
It's like what Owain was saying was like, it's really nice to see, because I know your races haven't gone too well previously, but like see you like be really happy and run really well. It was actually, I think everyone was buzzing for you.
Yeah.
So it's like, it shows everything's going really well.
I mean, one of the things that I took, a lot of pleasure in, of obviously the time, but also it's the first race since Barcelona where I could actually just completely bury myself.
Yeah.
Like I was on the floor at the end. As I shared it on my Instagram earlier. I was 30 seconds. I was on my back, like hyperventilating on the floor. Heart rate's up at 184 at the end, which I know that's what you average, Jake. But for me, that's like really going for it. I mean, I averaged higher heart rate during the half than I did in the 10K, Cardiff 10K a month earlier. Just because it just wasn't set up to run fast then. And so no, it just gave me a lot of confidence, to be honest. But I'm on the right track. Things are going really well, which I thought they were, but you still need to go and do it, don't you?
Oh yeah.
So that was my week. I think I did 118K, which felt like 118. step down compared to the 200k of last week. But yeah,
I think I think this will be the only week where I've taken you two down and Jen. I think as well. I think I've got Jen. It'll be
It's very good.
the only week of the block.
Yeah, capitalize on that.
Yeah. But no, I think good weeks around, good races.
Yeah, it was. Well, lastly, it was quite funny because Callum said to me, because me being in Cardiff, he's never experienced someone get that much cheers compared to him. Like it was like the whole time. Katie said when I went past, she said, "Go on, Jake," and then she said she felt so bad she had to say, "Go on, Callum," as well. But it was just like the whole way was. You can beat him. You can get him.
The support was crazy. The support was crazy.
Oh.
Like, so it was hilarious. So like I think it was about 5k. You go past Grangemore Park Run, and the race director was out, and they were all in there. Like they had the Park Run, Grangemore Park Run sign out. Everyone in the volunteers were there, and I guess it's a race director or someone, the event director, was on a loudspeaker going, "Oh, and here comes Dan Nash from Ponty Rodents. He still holds the course record from our 5th event." And I was like, why are you saying that? But then one of the guys I was running with was saying, it's like running with a celebrity here, because there was just so many shouts for either Ponty or "Come on, Dan," or Nash, whatever. The support was really, really good.
It was awesome.
When you went past us, Jake, I was spectating. I'd run with a mate called Tris, whose brother is Logan Reese.
Oh yeah.
So he was cheering for Callum. I was cheering for you. So that it was equal support at that point. Good. It was fun watching, and cool to see you guys. Awesome. Racing. It's good to see.
Going off the tablets you were taking down before.
Yeah.
My interpretation of that is having 4 liters of beetroot juice the week of the race.
Yeah. Okay. Last question.
Every day.
Last question for you here, Jake. You put a photo up of pickled beetroot.
Yes. So I hadn't gone to the shops to buy them because little co-op don't always sell beetroot juice. So I bought a whole tub of the actual beetroots and ate them. And when you eat a lot of it, you're like struggling to eat it. So I then went straight to the beetroot juice, and I finished 4 liters in 5 days or 4 or 5 days before the race.
What color was your pee?
Yeah. Let's not talk about that. On top of the Baileys that evening, it wasn't a good sight.
Yeah.
I reckon we leave it there. We'll leave it on that note. Thanks for your time this evening, Jake. Thanks for
No, I've absolutely loved it, and if Jenny ever wants to miss another one, I'm always keen.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, we've had some fan requests in, haven't we? So it's great to get you on. Really appreciate it.
No, I've loved it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and congrats again to Jen and Dave as well. And Jen will be back next week. So she can talk through a wedding during your marathon block.
Yeah, how does that play out? That'd be interesting to hear.
Yeah, cool. We'll catch everyone next time.
Yeah, lovely talking to you guys.
Cheers,
Speak soon, Jake.
Bye.